Wait a minute. He did it live on stage with cameras rolling, legends watching, and his ex-wife sitting a few feet away. Hafiz didn't just drop a bomb at the BET Awards. He detonated an emotional nuke. Yes, you read correctly. The self-described King of Loyalty stood front stage at Black Entertainment's biggest night and declared that he was married to Claressa Shields, the boxing ring's current queen, and apparently the object of his heart. Sitting directly behind them was none other than Remy Ma, who was dressed in full glam, trying to keep her composure. The cameras captured every smile. We've got all the exclusive details, backstage whispers, and tea-sipping Twitter threads. You won't hear anywhere else. Let's get one thing straight. This wasn't just a Bet Awards. It was a trap in a tuxedo, a love triangle gone live, and a red carpet turned revenge tour with high heels, high drama, and a mic drop that sent Twitter into overdrive. The crowd gasped as the whisper, the hand squeeze, and Remy's sis blinked, got up, grabbed her clutch, and left, like the credits were rolling on a 15-year love story. The night was supposed to be about music, celebration, and culture. But instead, it became a live-recorded episode of Divorce Court meets Love and Hip-Hop, complete with plot twists, public heartbreak, and one very confused usher holding Remy Ma's seat after she stormed out. If you're just joining us, let us catch you up with Papoose, the same Papoose who held Remy Ma through her darkest days for years, wrote entire essays on loyalty in every bar, publicly supported her when even Instagram demanded answers, and just pulled off the decade's messiest plot twist at the 2025 BT Awards. In front of every legend, camera, and live microphone in the room. A two-time Olympic gold medalist and unbeaten boxing champion. Apparently, the new Mrs. Papoose Mackey doesn't even begin to cover it. This wasn't a whisper in the crowd. This wasn't a TMZ spotted holding hands story. This was a full public declaration allegedly made during a red carpet interview with Bet Digital, where Papoose casually said, "This isn't just my date, this is my wife now. Excuse us," but the reporter blinked twice. Claressa laughed and touched his chest as if they had just released a secret album together, and at that precise moment, Remy Ma sat just a let's go back a few rows because, in true gossip, we don't just report the tea, we boil it on high. This betrayal wasn't built in a day. It took a long time. And if you've been paying attention to the clues, this twist should have been knocked politely before it entered the building. Remember last year's rumors and whispers that Remy Ma was getting? A little too cozy with Easy the Block Captain. Yes, the alleged affair. The dubious DM leaks. The blurry parking lot footage and the freestyle that fans claimed had subliminal shots. Well, it turns out Papoose might have taken all that silence and all that side eye. He did what any hurt man with a new lineup and public platform would do. He upgraded aloud with Remy in the same room. Let that sink in. This wasn't a text message from a breakup or a tweet that needed to be decoded. It was a live microphone and a televised slap in the face. According to an anonymous crew member going by the alias Light Gregory, there was no warning, no script, and no plan for that moment. Then he just said it, and my headset went completely quiet. Did he just say wife? Said someone in the control booth. Yes, Larry, he did. And the most heinous part is that Papoose allegedly stared straight into the camera afterward as if he knew that the internet would freeze. Replay, zoom in, add captions, and begin a 5-day meme marathon. And it did. Now, let's talk about the optics, shall we? Because Claressa O didn't just show up looking like a champion. She showed up dressed like the final boss of heartbreak, flawless and glowing. As if the Bet lighting team had a separate budget just for her angles. Hair, diamonds, and dancing, and not a shred of regret throughout her entire walk. And then there's Remy, placed strategically behind them. Not just in seating, but in energy, you know? When you're trying to act unfazed, but the camera pans at the exact moment you blink through your entire emotional past. That's her. She sat there with her arms crossed and her jaw tight. nodding slowly as if she were reciting a diss track in her head, waiting for a beat to drop. One audience member, who identified herself as a Remy fan, who later converted to Claressa, said it was wild. Like, I felt bad for Remy, but also for Cisp and Messy. And this was harsh, but the internet agreed. And you know what happened next, Remy? Ma got up, not dramatically, not yelling, just a slow rise, a pause. A tiny head shake, and then a walkout so cold that it fogged up the camera lens. Teak captured it on Twitter, looped it, and had it examined by YouTubers. She paused as if considering whether to stay and gather herself or to leave and preserve whatever dignity hadn't been microwaved in front of millions. The internet, chose violence, and within hours, the hashtag Remy walked out. Hashtag Papa POOS Emmer. Hashtag edited that, and the brutal hashtag all the way done were flying. Meanwhile, Claressa and Papoose were glowing like honeymooners at a press junket. They smiled for pictures, posed for photos, and even performed that irksome cheek to face lean that couples do when they know their ex is still looking. Now, anonymous. Sources by which we mean some dude with AA username such as Teasneeper. 9/11's asserted that wasn't merely a relationship disclosure, but rather a warning and a PR battle. According to a DM screenshot purportedly taken from A, she advised him to go public tonight, saying it was time to end the chapter permanently. He did appear to be in love, but wasn't love. Rather, it was a masterclass in emotional checkmate. As Papoose moved a queen onto the board, looked into his past, and declared, game over. However, if you think this is the end of it, then we've just reached the commercial break. As Part 2 delves deeply into the purported bet conspiracy to seat Remy, it's one thing to drop a bombshell at a major award show, but it's quite another to detonate it in front of your ex-wife while cameras are rolling and then act like nothing just exploded. However, what really makes this whole story reach scandal-level DEFCON 1 is what happened after that announcement. Because, while Papoose and Claressa were out here smiling for the flashbulbs like prom royalty backstage at Bet, complete chaos was happening. This is what happened immediately behind the newlyweds. The mic'd tub hot mic moments that Bet insiders are now disputing. And the wild Twitter theories that claim this whole thing was a pre-planned rollout for a series. Let's start with the seating charts. Because we now have exclusive fake information from a Bet production coordinator who has asked to remain anonymous but goes by the codename Stage Love Stacy. She claims that the seat where Remy was sitting was not assigned by accident. There were 3 other open rows, and they put her there for camera attention and tension. Apparently, there is a document called Audience Chemistry Map Higher Risk Zones Do Not Leak floating around in the Bet production Google Drive. And guess what Stacy did? She leaked it to us, smiling and sporting horns. The chemistry map, allegedly, shows relationships between artists, including Yex's beef situationship and Toxic AF. Guess what was written next to Remy Ma and Papoose's ex-spouse? What is the optimal cam angle? So instead of a love triangle, we're watching a broadcast-engineered breakup moment that was intended to go viral and bet on playing chess with people's pain. And it worked, because now we're getting hit with leaks from all sides. Enter Soundbooth Sean, who is allegedly a Bet audio tech and insists that Rhee's microphone was never turned off. Yes, Sean says that she was still attractive when the announcement was made, and what she allegedly whispered. During the commercial break, brace yourself. Oh my God, Twitter went crazy after that quote. One tweet said, Remy Ma dropped the coldest diss line of 2025, and she didn't even spit a bar. Another said, this is giving Beyonce saw Jay with Rihanna in an elevator with levels of tension. But it doesn't end there. In addition to Remy allegedly saying that she threw her Bet awards program into her handbag so aggressively that a nail popped off and landed in Busta Rhymes' lap. This is unverified. Up posted a perplexed picture with a silver acrylic nail. Asterisk when asked how long they had been officially married. Papoose and Claressa were in full honeymoon mode. He turned heartbreak into a highlight reel by saying, "We kept it low for a while, but tonight felt like the right time to celebrate the union." Claressa didn't even bat an eye when asked if she was worried about Remy's reaction. Instead, she smirked and said, "I'm undefeated in and out of the ring. Phew." Meanwhile, fans online were busy doing in-depth frame-by-frame analysis of Rhee's eye. Twitch audio-enhanced whispers were heard from the front row, and there was even a 3D rendering of her purse slamming shut. Influencers recreated the scene, as if it were a Shakespearean monologue, and I stood, blinked, and left, because, to Hood Nancy Drew, silence is the loudest scream. Now, let's talk about the most fabricated and messy revelation of all. As several insiders now claim that this entire moment was a publicity stunt, an alleged setup, the announcement, the camera pan, and the seating arrangement, all of which sources say Mona Skochung is heavily involved in. In the meantime, back on the ground, the Remy Ma fan base is in full revolt. Some say she deserves it, while others say she is the real victim. The fan base has split into factions, with the hashtag Re-Redemption Squad demanding justice, the hashtag Twin Claressa group calling this a gloat moment, and the hashtag PAPOOSE played. We're talking full reunion-style therapy sessions, hidden camera footage, and confessionals from people who were there but are legally unable to speak unless paid, but Bet denies it. All of the conspiracy theorists now believe that he has been planning this since the Easy Block captain posted that blurry text screenshot in 2023. Oh, that screenshot that purportedly said, "She's saying she's loyal, but I know the real story." Yes, that screenshot has reappeared as well because in the online court of petty public opinion, every receipt matters. Even if it is artificial intelligence, AI generated, or fake. And then, in the most bizarre turn of all, the Bet's camera team has begun releasing behind-the-scenes stills from the event. One of the photos has the entire internet trembling. It shows Remy Ma standing in the hallway, mid-exit, wiping her cheek, with a tissue behind her and a red exit sign that symbolizes haunting poetry. The caption simply read, "Captured, not staged." But come on, everything looks staged at this point. You can't just film it in 4K with a woman behind her ex and his new wife and then act like, oh no, this is all a big accident. It was scripted like a season finale, with the only thing missing being a fade to black and dramatic music playing as Remy left in slow motion. There are dozens of viral edits of that exact moment, set to songs like Beyoncé's Irreplaceable, Rihanna's Unfaithful, and Neo's Take a Bow. Dion's, it's all coming back to me now. And to be honest, it worked too well. As a result, Papoose is now being hailed as the coldest man alive, and Claressa has changed her name to Mr. Heavyweight Energy. Remy hasn't posted anything on social media, including tweets or Instagram stories. And there are only paparazzi photos of her leaving the after party alone, wearing sunglasses at night with her lips and fists clenched. However, if you think this story ends with silence, you're mistaken, because in part 3, we're dissecting the fallout, legal threats, boycotts, NPR, clean up rumors of a diss track in the works, and why fans think Remy Ma might be planning the ultimate retaliation. On Beat. Just Betrayal. This was broadcast heartbreak, and the next chapter is going to be loud. Just when you thought this story couldn't get any messier, Remy Ma said nothing at all. And that silence reverberated louder than any diss track ever could because, according to a close friend who spoke to a source who knows a source, Remy has allegedly gone completely crazy. She has unfollowed Claressa, muted Bet's page, and reportedly already booked studio time in Atlanta with a producer known for one thing: revenge beats. Remy may be loading the clip musically while Claressa and Papoose are busy grinning for the cameras like they're in a Bet Plus rom-com, but the fallout doesn't stop there. Fans and insiders alike are criticizing the once-loved Black entertainment institution, with trending hashtags like #BT set her up, #Remy deserved better, Hashtag you guys really mic'd her up. And not to mention the newest one making the charts, hashtag toxic. Televised because people aren't just upset about the heartbreak. They're angry about the manipulation, the strategic seeding, the leaked audio, the zoom-ins at the worst possible moment, and the way the broadcast lingered on Remy's reaction. Fans are demanding an apology and a statement, and some even want heads to roll. Let me clarify. When Papoose announced a new marriage, his 15-year ex-wife was 3 rows behind him. And your cameraman responded as though he was filming Love and Hip Hop Civil. Warbet's official account was completely silent, with no tweets or explanations, just a lot of "we'll be right back after this break" energy. Meanwhile, Papoose and Claressa are acting like they just won couple of the year because guess what? A bet post went live, praising them as a power couple of the evening, no joke. A boomerang of them clinking glasses backstage is also included, with the remark, "Loyalty looks good on y'all." Ring Lodi, the boldness is so loud that I had to wear noise-canceling headphones in order to finish the writing. But that's not all, because as of 9 a.m., a cease and desist letter, purportedly, arrived in Claressa's inbox the following morning, and guess what? It was from Remy Ma's team, according to leaked docs that have been making the rounds on Reddit and dark corners of Twitter. The letter requests that widely shared Claressa interview footage be taken down. Seems to make fun of Remy by saying, "When people fumble, you pick up the bag and run with it." Fans think that was a direct jab. Remy's team thinks it's defamatory, and the lawyers, it's billable. Meanwhile, other reports indicate Remy has been working with a public relations team to reframe the story, possibly for a documentary of her own called Behind Her Back, The Remy Ma Story. The tagline is, "She held it down until they held hands," in front of her streaming platforms including Netflix, Zeus, and Tubi. Because, let's face it, if Remy releases a documentary series with heartfelt confessions, diss tracks, and real backstage footage, we're all watching. However, the plot is still getting thicker because a leaked group chat screenshot from inside Claressa's camp claims that Remy knew this day was coming but didn't think it would be so public. What does that even mean? Was a planned soft launch? Too hard launch transition? Did Claressa warn her? Instagram astrologers are weighing in, claiming that the alignment of Mercury retrograde over Brooklyn is responsible for explosive exup energy. And let's not even get started on the Easy Block captain rumors resurfacing. Yes, Rhee's rumored fling turn blur of 2023 is now back in the mix. Because someone dug up an old The Public's response to Easy's suspicious post with a suspicious caption is nothing short of emotional warfare. 1 minute, people are defending Rhee's legacy. The next, they're applauding Claressa's boss move. And somewhere in between, Papoose's reputation has changed from that of a loyal god to that of the true villain of the Bet cinematic universe. One fan wrote, "This man held her down while she had only time to air her out like laundry on award night." Another wrote, "Papoose didn't just end a marriage, he ended public trust and love." Harsh, but hey, that's what happens when the streets raise you and the stage exposes you. And now, whether literally or figuratively, people are waiting for the next punch because, let's not forget, Claressa is a professional fighter, Remy is a professional rapper, and Papoose is just professionally unbothered at this point. However, beneath all the drama, leaks, and scandals, there's a deeper, more widely shared truth. This wasn't just an award show scandal. It was a masterclass in how to turn real-life heartbreak into headline gold. It was pain televised, love weaponized, loyalty monetized. And now in a world where the Bet Awards turn into battlegrounds and microphones are hotter than marriages. The only thing we know for sure is that cameras never lie, but hearts leak. Now that we've unpacked the chaos, zoomed in on the tears, and replayed the awkward glances, pretty much everything is coming. The world is watching to see who hits back harder. Remy with a song, Claressa with a clapback, or Papoose with a podcast. Trust me, this story isn't over, Ritz. just an intermission. During the BET Awards, Remy Ma didn't clap, smile, or say anything. But her face said more than a diss track, an interview, or a press release could ever say. This man really married another woman 3 rows in front of me, and now we want to hear from you. Speech balloon. This was Papoose's final mic drop speech. Balloon. Did Bet purposefully set Remy up for the Heartbreak TV speech balloon? Is Claressa really unbothered or just playing her part in the most chaotic rollout of 2025? And the most important question of all is, if you were Remy Ma sitting directly behind your ex and his new wife on national television, what would you have done? Please share this with someone who still thinks award shows are elegant and drama-free, because they obviously haven't seen Bet 2025. This is a gossip spill vibe where no secret stays buried. No camera angle is ignored, and the tea always spills and catches you in the face. We're reading everything, so if you felt even 1% of Rye's pain, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. The next controversy is already in the works.